Living in a small town is just a blessing in itself because when we moved here, this town was about the same size as the company that I worked for. I worked for a company that had 5,000 people, and we lived here, there was 4,500 people. So when I moved here, my job was no longer secretary. My job was a music master. And that came about because it seemed like in a small town, you could just do what your gift was. That you didn't have to just make it in a huge town where there's just all these people, and so you could fit in a corporate life or something, and maybe you could do your dream. But for me, this was our dream town.
Well, I went to high school here in Cloverdale. Not these buildings, these are much newer than when I started here in 1945, in the fall of 45, what was the old building over here that's been gone now for several years. But we had, it was rather a small school. We only had about 100, a little over 100 kids when I went in 1945, and then when I graduated in 50, we had about 150. We had quite a few people come down from Washington, followed a mill down here. Some people bought a mill up in Washington and moved it to Cloverdale. And that's what increased our enrollment here at the high school.
I knew everybody, and I even knew their dogs and everybody in town. And now I can go down to this Ray's and Blong's at Bank, and I don't see anybody I know. So we knew every family in town in those days. And what caused the population, after World War II, the town is when it really started growing and building, because we had the big logging industry here and mills all around. And that caused a big jump in population.
Well, the air is a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
You have no idea what the air was like when I was young. There's probably a few of them left. The old, the incinerators at the mills, if you know what those are. Go check those out, and then imagine, I don't know, imagine a dozen of those things belching 24/7. Yeah. The downtown is a lot safer. It's a lot nicer. It used to be 101, remember?
Yeah.
When I was your age, I saw people run over in the sidewalk, baby strollers upside down. No kidding. And they, then the bypass happened, which is a really good thing.
A lot of businesses went out of business because the freeway bypassed the town, and so there wasn't near as much traffic coming through town any longer, so the traffic wasn't there to help feed the businesses.
The freeway going around town changed the downtown area dramatically. We used to, on the holidays, you didn't dare go out. The traffic was horrendous. Now, holidays come and go and you hardly notice it. But that's because of the freeway.
We used to pitch in and find the friend that had the car, and we would go out and do something out of town because we just couldn't find it here. Like the movie theater here has a selection of 4 movies when the theaters in Santa Rosa or Healdsburg have selections of like 15. So just the entertainment wise, I know my brother works for the city, so a lot of people put in plans to open places like this, like skate parks, but they always get turned down. So somebody somewhere that's in charge of stuff says like no. So if that could change, that'd be cool. I'm sure the kids would stay out of trouble more if they were busy doing something fun. Because I know I never thought about drugs and alcohol just because I was lifting weights. And that got me out of it because I was too busy doing this to go and fall down doing this.
I think we're getting there. I think that this movement to get more art happening in Cloverdale, the theater, that's huge. We were working on trying to get a community theater, like I say, back in 1998. So I think things have come a long way, and I think that adults are realizing that the community needs to be for everyone, and there needs to be things for every age group to do. And I think we've got young children covered. I think there's good things in the community. There's parks, there's open space. I think there needs to be more for teens to do in the town, and I think, we had talked about a teen center years ago and using the Boys and Girls Club as a teen center, and I still think that's kind of a good idea, and I think that it would be beneficial for your age group to have something that's theirs in the community too, to feel like this is really a place for you, because you're the future, and we want you guys to learn and know how the community operates and runs, and how to make things good for everybody.
What I've realized about this small community is that they really come together, not only for perhaps to enjoy neat, fun activities, but also when times are rough and hard. This community really comes together. Another thing that I like is that this community is starting to grow Latino, Hispanic wise. When I first got here, the Latino population was small. I see it growing, although what I hope that perhaps that the Latino community could start interacting with more of the activities and interacting with the others. So I'd really like to see that.
I had a lot of variety of friends. I would say probably my best and worst memory was having my quinceañera. I had, nowadays it's girls use all boys as their chambelanes. I had 15 girls and 15 boys, and they were half American and half Mexican. And I taught my vals, I ran the whole show, I did everything. So it was a great experience because, I was in charge of what I wanted. I was in charge of, how I wanted it to play out. I didn't have anybody telling me, what dances to do or, what to do. The challenging part was that, like I mentioned before, my Mexican friends thought my white friends were just there for the party. My white friends thought the Mexicans were just there for the party, and I was friends with all of them. I had to make a decision on how to handle it. And the way I handled it was I got them all together, sat them down and said, this is who I am, you're my friends and you're my friends. This is my party and this is how I want it to play out, and if you don't like it, there's the door. And nobody walked away from it. It was a fun experience for the white girls, it was a fun experience for the Mexican girls, and everybody got along. So that was definitely my best memory there.
Yeah, slumber parties. I never was allowed to do slumber parties. You had all, and I know I'm being tape recorded, but I'm gonna call them American. You have all these American kids having slumber parties. And I wanted to go. And it was like, no, you have your own house to sleep in. You don't need to be sleeping at anybody else's house. And I hated that, and that's one thing that I wish I could have done is just gone to a simple slumber party.
I have to say, in the last 5 years, I've gone downhill a little bit, and but it doesn't matter. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy for the things I can do, and there's stuff that's just slipped away. What do you do? What do you say? Oh crap, I can't do that anymore, or I can't even, grab stuff or hold on to stuff, or even just standing up. And it's like, man, I remember when I could blah, 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 do so much. And now, it's that reassessing my purpose and so how do you tell somebody that was a real hard charger and a real go-getter? Well, now you just have to be happy. It's good enough just to sit here in this chair or whatever. How do you do that? I'm still working on it. I'm reconciling it. So I'm trying to put into place being a woman, being a mom, being a wife, and then stuff slowly gets peeled off. And so I'm very thankful for everything in my life. Every day I get up and walk out and look out the window, and now it's dark. It's my favorite time. It's winter. I'm a winter baby, and I'm so glad. I look out the window and I see Cloverdale lights twinkling, and I say, "Good morning, sparkly town." It just looks so beautiful out there. Everybody's got a struggle. Plato, right? He said, "Be kind, for everyone's having a hard battle." So I try and always remember that, and not to take anything for granted.
When I was interviewing people for jobs, a lot of times, and particularly now because business is so fast-paced, you don't have time to really, you're going to train, they're going to train you the way they want you to do, but they would prefer to have a person that comes in and says, "Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready." And so how do you become ready for a more technical job? You do it now. You prepare now. You take your studies seriously now. You go on either to trade school, tech school, or college, and further that. And then when you go out into the workforce, hopefully along the way, you've had time to do some internships, learn a little about what the career you want to do, and step in there either through internships or volunteering in that career. And then you're going to be much more, for lack of a better word, saleable to that company that you're looking for. So right now is the time to really take school serious and prepare yourself.
Go and explore and see what's out there. And there's so much more to see than just Cloverdale, Santa Rosa, San Francisco. And it gives you a lot as far as like a direction for yourself, who you are, what you want to do, where you want to go. And it just kind of helps broaden your mind and open and give you an open mind, and to be able to, I don't know, be a better person, I guess, and feel better about yourself, I think.
I would say number one is understanding who you are yourself, understanding what your own beliefs are, figuring out goals and striving to get those. I think one thing about a lot of students these days is students are quick to give up. Students are quick to not care, to think that, I can't do this, And I do believe that if you have the determination, you can do many things in life, I believe it's about I really do believe it's about setting goals and being determined to accomplish those things little by little. And when you accomplish that goal, it doesn't mean that you're finished, but to start another one and start another one and start another one.
Do drugs. Don't do drugs. No, like honestly, I mean, don't fall into what other people are doing. Don't try to find the easy way out. If you find an easy way out, it's probably not. It's not that easy. Yeah, it's like if you find a way to do something and it's a struggle, just give yourself that challenge. Struggle to do it, because the outcome is going to be a lot better. Just really think about what you're doing. Check your motive. Like, why are you doing it? Are you doing it to fit in, or are you doing it to make yourself happy? That's what I would say. And there's a lot of kids that are either getting into trouble. Like the whole gang thing. I did that. I used to think I was so cool walking around Cloverdale with my little blue rag. Honestly, I grew up at it. I grew up. I used to think it was cool to be like the partier. Well, I grew up. But I only did that because I was following others. So I would suggest that you're just your own person, and if somebody tells you, well, I'm not going to be your friend, just, or I'm not going to, think about what's really going to make you happy, and then just follow your heart.
Be yourself. Don't worry about your peers. This is all like, sure do, right? Yeah. Be your own person, don't worry about, because, as much as you say it, when you leave here, you'll lose a lot of your contacts. Now, remember I told you I had 10 guys that hung around, 10 girls? All of us that are left, and 3 of us that died, get together once a year, even now. And we have high school reunions in addition to that. So, But when you leave here, you're going to make new friends, and then you're going to lose those too. Just be true to yourself, as Shakespeare said. You know, be friendly. Keep yourself humble as much as you can. Put others better than yourself, and listen to people. Listen. And remember, you don't have any problems. There's people worse off than you. So, love your mom and dad. Thank them once in a while, even now. Say, Mom and Dad, I really love you and I appreciate you.